Okay, level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer testing out the levels for the live streaming show that will start in under 1 minute. Hi there, 1, 2. I've got audio levels there. I've got to turn on the other platforms, which include Roku, Apple TV. Also have to turn on our apps. So again, this live streaming show that you're about to see, you can get off of Facebook, you can get from YouTube. And in addition to that, you can get it from the Fox 19 Now weather app, Fox 19 Now news app on the Fox 19 website. You can also look at our streaming channel. It plays there while we're live on the air. And I understand it's also available on Samsung TV. It is available on Roku. We know that for sure. So Apple TV also has it. There are a couple others I've probably forgotten, but you've got it. Okay, it is 15 minutes after the hour, and it is time for the streaming show. Okay, give me one more second. I got to push a couple more buttons here. Okay, now we're all set. Hi, everybody. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. Take a look at our view from our tower cam. Notice how bright it looks. That's because of all that new snow on the ground. Tell you what, as a meteorologist, I love checking out my forecasting skills. However, by the time we get to this point in a snowstorm, we're pretty tired of it because we've been talking about it already for weeks. So again, the winter storm warning has ended. It didn't actually end. They actually canceled it because the snow moved out of the viewing area. There might still be a few flurries around the tri-state and the Fox 19 Now viewing area over the next several hours, but for the most part, it's a done deal. The only thing we have to worry about now, actually two things, refreezing overnight. Many areas with this fresh snow cover will drop to single digits above zero, and in some spots, wind chills could be below zero in the morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for you. Here's another camera shot. Look how bright that looks. This is Turfway Park without the big lights on when they race at night. You can see the lake there almost frozen, 25 degrees. And for most of the last 36 hours, you couldn't even tell the airport was over here, but now really clearly right over there you can see the control tower. So the visibility has improved quite a bit. And again, 25 degrees, and that snow cover is really going to have an impact on what the temperatures do overnight. I'll explain that coming up here in just a minute. And here's our view from Clovernook Country Club. Even at this time of night, it's nice and bright because that white snow reflects a lot of light. Notice there's also a breeze out there. You can see the vegetation on the right flapping in the breeze. So it is cold. Wind chills are on the cold side. Okay, let's talk about some snow amounts. Okay, first of all, we're looking at 10.6 inches at CVG. Now that's the official snowfall recording area, or actually weather area, for the Cincinnati region. So 10.6 inches of snow. In Covedale, which is on the west side of downtown Cincinnati, 10.5. Norwood, 10.6. Northgate, so Norwood's to the east, northeast actually of the downtown area. Northgate, 10.6, and Union, Kentucky, 9.5 inches. All right, so pretty impressive totals there. We've got some more for you too. Let's go ahead and look at Cleves. It looks like Cleves is the winner. Now, our report said Cleves at 11 inches. Some people have been reporting 11.2, but Cleves got the most. Montgomery, 9.5, 9.5 in College Corner. West Union at 9, 9.5 in Connorsville. Again, all these are pretty impressive. It doesn't often happen with snow that deep around the Cincinnati area. Villa Hills at 9. Kentonville over in northern Kentucky at 10.5. Madera, 9.8. Hillsboro, 8.9, and Madisonville, that's my house that I measured, at 9 inches. So quite a bit of snow in the tri-state area. And let me see, I want a couple of graphics I left out here. I'll have to put those in. Give me a second. And again, the accumulating snow's over. The winter storm warning has been canceled by the National Weather Service. And we still have the first alert weather day in effect because tomorrow morning there will be spots with wind chills below zero. Actual temperatures and spots will drop into the single digits. Okay, now where are those graphics I wanted to show you? All right, there's two of them, and then we'll go back over the snowfall amounts for those of you that just joined in. All right, so let's start off with the camera once again from Clovernook Country Club, and I'll take it full screen then. And then what I want to show you is take a look at the snow cover here. I mean, it's thick, and then we don't have a specific observation from Clovernook Country Club, but it's probably 7 to 10 inches out that way, based on what others nearby to the country club have observed. And so there's that thick blanket of snowfall. And what does that mean as far as the weather goes? Excuse me a second, I've been talking so much today, my voice is already about to go. Okay, well, here's what it looks like. If we take a look at this, number one, snow cover will insulate the air from ground heat. Okay, remember, as you dig down, it's always warmer a little bit down, and when we get into winter and the air's cold, that heat literally travels upward and helps heat the air. Not a lot, it's not like a blast furnace, but it's enough to make several degrees temperature difference. So the air is now insulated from the heat in the ground. Okay, so that's one source of heat the air doesn't have. Even on a cloudy day like this, some sunshine penetrates through those clouds, and that sunshine is reflected very, very effectively by snow cover. So that heat that would normally strike the bare ground, warm the ground, and then the ground warms the air is not available. So that's another source of why the weather is colder when there's snow cover on the ground. And some of the snow evaporates or sublimates. When I say evaporates, it means there's almost always a little liquid water in there. You know how a wet snow can be, but so some of that water can evaporate. The energy for doing the work of evaporation comes from the air. That keeps the temperature cooler, actually cools it. Sublimates is the same thing as evaporation. However, it's when you take ice or solid water and it goes directly into a water vapor instead of going through the liquid stage. So it's the same thing energy-wise as evaporation in that it absorbs energy from the air. So those three sources, insulation of the air from the ground heat, reflection of any sunshine that makes it through the clouds, and evaporation or sublimation. So going from liquid or solid directly to the vapor phase means that some of the energy for that is taken from the air, and that keeps the ground colder than what you would expect. And so that's why tonight I've got temperatures quite a bit cooler than models say around the tri-state. And it's one of those things you have to learn as a young meteorologist. Hey, you learn that typically, I mean, it can be as much as 15 to 20 degrees colder than models say the next morning. I think maybe 5 to 10 degrees colder than what the models are saying for tomorrow morning. Okay, so the official, oops, I knew I misspelled that. I missed an I in there. The official storm total, 10.6 inches at CVG. Okay, 6.4 of that was Sunday, 4.2 of that was today. And today's 4.2 inches means it's a new daily record snowfall. The old record for this date, the 6th of January, was 3.5 inches set back in 1981. So we have a record, and we have quite a big snowstorm. 10.6 inches doesn't happen very often in the Cincinnati area. So let's go back over the snowfall totals that we have. There's CVG at 10.6, 10.5 in Covedale, also 10.6 in Norwood and Northgate, Union, Kentucky at 9.5. Cleves, 11 inches. That's the highest one we saw reported to the National Weather Service office. Montgomery, 9.5. College Corner, 9.5. Also 9.5 in Connersville with West Union at 9. And then Villa Hills, 9 inches. 10.5 in Kentonvale, which is in northern Kentucky. Madera, 9.8. Hillsboro, 8.9, and Madisonville at my house, 9 inches of snowfall. Okay, temperatures right now look like this. They're in the 20s, except for Portsmouth, which is at 30. Wind chill values in the teens. Now notice we do have wind chills as low as 11 degrees out there already. And we're looking at the last of the few flurries. Okay, you see that stuff that's over Clinton and Highland counties? It's a few flurries. Won't add much, if anything, to the snow totals, and that's it. As we zoom out, you'll see that there's really nothing else coming our way. So overall, it is looking like a cold, cold night. And a few spots tomorrow morning will have wind chills below 0. Now this evening, it's 25 now. We should drop by the time we do 11 to 21 degrees. Skies mostly cloudy with some clearing taking place. Notice the winds were still northwest at 11. That puts the wind chill still in the teens at 11 o'clock. Overnight, temperatures drop off to about 7 for the low. Now, the models are saying 15 degrees, okay? And what I'm talking about here is the models do take into account some of that snow cover, but they don't do a really good job. So my thought is that with the snow cover, brand new and fresh, and temperatures should drop off. And I've got it like 8 degrees colder than what most of the models are saying. Okay, and with temperatures dropping off to that level, that means the wind chills are going to be a little bit on the colder side. So here's what a model that I trust for tomorrow morning says about temperatures. It says 7 in Connersville, 2 in Batesville, 2 in Versailles, 8 in Lawrenceburg, Patriot 9, and then as high as 14 over in the Brooksville area. Now, again, you would say, okay, if you take 7 degrees off that, some of those will go below 0. Yeah, can't rule out that there'll be a couple of actual temperatures a little bit below 0 for a brief time on that fresh snow cover. And wind chill values are going to look like this. I think the coldest might be 4 to 10 degrees below 0. The winds are going to die down quite a bit, so there won't be that much of a wind chill. But if you've got temperatures around 3 or 4, it doesn't take much to push that wind chill down to 4 below 0. So a very cold morning. Now, the other issue, again, with this system is going to be refreeze. And so there are those wind chill values that I was kind of blocking because I forgot that I was still on camera. Okay, we'll go look at what the Climate Prediction Center says in just a minute. So overnight, we're looking at it getting cold because the snow cover is going to actually help make it colder tomorrow morning. The winds will be just enough to push that wind chill to below 0, and refreezing could very well be a problem. So if you come home from work or something, or whatever you're doing, and you see some spots that are slushy, they could very well become icy patches tomorrow morning. So be aware of that and be very careful if you're heading out somewhere. All right, one more time. Let's take a look at the forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for the next 6 to 10 days. Okay, this goes out to the 16th of January, and it says that we are going to be below normal temperature-wise on the average for that stretch of time. Okay, and again, when we're talking about this, that means if you take the high and low for each day and you average everything out, that's what this means. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it, but and in some situations it could be very cold at the beginning of this stretch and warm up to a very warm as relative to normal at the end, and then you could still end up averaging out near or below normal. So it doesn't mean that every single day it's going to be that way, but it does mean that for the most part, colder than normal as we head to the 16th of the month. Okay, now here is the day 8 to day 14 outlook. We're still about the same, colder than normal, and that takes us through the 20th of January. This came out on Friday. It will be updated this Friday. It's only a once-a-week thing, but you can see that it keeps us in the colder than normal through the 1st of February. So definitely looks like colder than normal is going to rule. Let's take a look at precipitation. With all that cold air coming in, lower than normal precipitation through the 16th, about normal precipitation through the 20th, and then maybe a little bit above normal as we head into the month of February around the tri-state. I think that's iffy, and we'll see how those are all updated as we head on into this coming weekend. Again, that will be released again on Friday. Okay, here we go. And oh, by the way, I will be. I'm actually on vacation today, but because of the storm, I decided to work to help keep you informed. And so, starting tomorrow, it'll be Frank Marzullo in here. He'll be taking my shift through Friday, and then next week, Monday through Friday, it'll be meteorologist Catherine Bodak. She'll be taking care of this. Okay, so here's your 7-day forecast. We're looking at a low of 7, a high of 25 on Tuesday. It's a first alert weather day because of the cold air in the morning and wind chills in spots below 0. 6 and 21 on Wednesday, mostly cloudy. 2 and 19 on Thursday, and partly cloudy. A few showers in the forecast, snow showers that is. A low of 5, a high of 27 Friday. 15 and 28 with a chance of flurry Saturday. Mostly cloudy Sunday and 31, and we finally make it back to freezing on Monday with the chance for a little bit of snow coming our way. And it's too far out to tell, but there's a chance we could see a little bit of accumulating snow in the tri-state. And beyond the 7-day forecast, looks like this. Okay, a low of 19, a high of 30 on the 14th, 20 and 29 on the 15th, on the 16th, 21 and 30. Now, if you're wondering, this is considerably colder than normal because the normal high through here is 39 degrees. And so that is holding up what we just saw from those maps from the Climate Prediction Center. Okay, and so highs will finish out in the 20s with lows in the teens through the 20th of the month. And then as we head toward the 17th, we've got the chance for some light snow. I don't see any big systems coming our way at this point, but we do have the chance for some light snow. Okay, how about the 7-day forecast plus? Okay, and that's plus 7 more days. So there's the normal high, there's the normal low line, and you can see 14 days in a row for the highs and 14 days in a row for the lows. Temperatures colder than normal. So looks like we are going to pretty much get close to finishing out the month of January. I think January, it's a shoo-in that January will average out colder than normal, but we probably won't warm up that much until we get into the first week or so of February, the way it is looking right now. Okay, let me go over to Facebook now, see what kind of comments I have from people. Okay. Susan Wally says, hello, or good evening. Hi, Susan, how are you? What a mess, LOL. You're not kidding. Okay, now what happened with me in my particular instance, and I'm not complaining, I mean, you know that I like snow, and I like snowy weather, but as a TV meteorologist, I understand that I'm broadcasting to people who just makes their lives a pain in the neck, and so it's my personal preference, but I don't say it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, oops, wrong button there. So then what we're looking at here is a mess. I left the station a little bit after 2 a.m. this morning, and of course I was driving. My wife and I. Okay, let me see if I'm on camera here. My wife and I just traded in our Subaru for a new Subaru, and it's only got like 40 miles on it, and she said, "Are you going to drive the new car to work?" And I said, "Absolutely not. The last thing I need is to be driving our brand new car and have somebody, slide into me and bang it up." So I drove our old Ford van. It's a Ford Transit Connect, I think is what it's called. Front-wheel drive, it works okay as long as you don't have to worry about too many hills. And so I ended up driving that, but because it's got an old rack, it was originally owned by a heating and cooling company. And it had a rack on top so they could put all kinds of equipment and carry it to job sites. Well, that rack makes it too tall for me to get it into the bottom tier of the garage here at Fox 19. So I had to park it on the top. And when I came out, oh my gosh, it took me a half hour to get it cleaned off and ready to go for travel. So then I get home, get in bed, go to bed finally, and exactly 8 hours after I got in bed, my boss called and said, "When are you coming back in?" I said, "Well, I'm on my way." So here I am, and this is how a dedicated meteorologist spends the first day of his vacation. Just kidding. I'm the chief here, and being the chief requires that you do certain things, and this is one of them. I'm not complaining whatsoever. Okay, back to that. Okay, so yeah, Susan, what a mess. Nikki Nicole, you can't see me. Who can't see? Nikki Nicole, I'm not sure what you are watching on, but I've got all the buttons pushed. Nikki, if you could tell me what you're watching on so I can say, I don't know what NVM is. I wonder, and if you've been able to see me before on that, because I've only got control over certain things, and I've got that turned on. I've got YouTube is live, it says anyway. So yeah, YouTube is live, it says that. All right, so I don't know, and I can't tell you if it's not showing up on some platform, it's something I don't have control over as far as I can tell from here. Susan Wally says too bad we don't have the La Nina. Yeah, I know. If we had the La Nina, we probably wouldn't have had this for sure. And then let's see. Okay, so Susan Wally said she got 12 inches of snow in Blanchester. Okay, they measured it we're using a yardstick on a bench. All right, thank you, Susan. I'm glad I'll put that in our record books here. Norma Roberts, Village of Georgetown, Ohio, said 13 inches. Okay. And then I don't know anything about this. So Kim Ya says, don't think we should be at a level 3. It's pretty bad. Oh, don't you think we should be on a level 3? Sorry, Kim. Level 3 is pretty bad out there. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to, sometimes they put that level 2 or 3 out, depending on how long they think it's going to last. And because of time of day now, most people are inside, and so they're going to get the roads cleaned up a lot overnight. So that's maybe what they're thinking. But I'm not really sure everything that goes into that thought process. But believe me, the best thing for me coming into work today was there's almost nobody out there. I mean, and that's usually what happens is you'll get cars and somebody will have to go extra slow, somebody will go slower than that, and everybody gets all jammed up. And when that doesn't happen, it actually works out pretty well. So, okay, who do we have here? Let's see. Friday, yeah, I don't know. Friday could be accumulating snow. I've been so busy with everything else, I just have not had a chance to look at it, tell you the truth. So I'm thinking some light accumulations, nothing like this. I mean, it's so rare to have this kind of a storm here in Cincinnati. It's even rarer to have 2 of them in a row. So I don't think we see anything nearly like this. So. How long do I predict until we are safe to drive on the roads? Well, I'll tell you what, that depends on what kind of vehicle you're driving. That depends on your skill. And so if anybody asks my advice, I say, well, if you don't feel comfortable driving in it, just wait until you do feel comfortable. But I think the main roads are going to be much better tomorrow morning, without a doubt. But some of those rural roads just have to get better on their own because, the rural counties don't have the population, so they don't have the tax dollars to be able to afford clearing all those. So I don't think tomorrow morning is going to be very good driving-wise anyway. Cheryl Rao says, keep safe, stay warm, enjoy the snow. Heather Brooks, does anyone know what Madison Avenue in Covington looks like at the moment? I don't know about the exact moment, but about an hour ago, one of our live vans went through there, and it was kind of, not slushy, but it was kind of crunchy, kind of icy in spots. Not great, but not impassable. And again, if you have a light vehicle or if you have a vehicle that is rear-wheel drive, not very good. Front-wheel drive is better, but all-wheel drive is best. So some of those roads you just can't you just can't be sure about. Tina Wolf, I remember Tina saying she hates snow, and Tina says, I hate snow. Are we expecting accumulating snow on Friday? Maybe, but not like this. Maybe a little bit. And as I said, I haven't really had time to look at what's going to happen on Friday because of all this stuff. I mean, I just worked, and by the time I get home tonight, out of like 36 hours, I'll have worked like 28. So I'll look at it in more detail, and we'll have it. Meteorologist Catherine Bodak is in the morning, and she will have a very good look at that for you. And then it'll be Jeff Creighton and Frank Marzullo tomorrow afternoon. And I got the pleasure to work with Jeff this afternoon. Jeff and I go way back to the mid-1990s when we worked together at another station. And then when he was ready to move over, he came over there I hired him here. And great guy, knows his stuff, doesn't ever get flustered about it. And it was nice to work with him today. But Jeff Creighton will be back again tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, okay, and so Keith Hickman says, storm coming from the south this weekend. Yeah, it is coming from the south. And I just looked at the models on that as far as placement goes, and that it really just kind of clips us at this point. So we're not looking at any heavy accumulation. If that changes, in other words, if this is Cincinnati right here, that storm is expected to go like this. Well, if it changes and comes more at us, it could be more of an accumulating event. So I'm saying, I haven't looked at it in detail, but I do think that we'll have a little bit of snow out of it on Friday. But how much? Still hard to tell. I think most of it stays off to our south and east. Rita says, enjoy your vacation. Thanks for the reports. And if that Friday storm turns out to be a big one, I'll be back. And my bosses say, well, thank you for working on your vacation day. It's like, you know what? As a TV media, you live for this kind of weather. It's not that we like bad weather. It's like we like to forecast it. It tests our skills. And so it's a really big one. I'll be back in on Friday. It doesn't look like it's going to be, but if it is. Okay. All right, well, thank you, Joanne Howard, for the compliment. Molly Purcell Pollock, hello, Steve. It's a beautiful snow, but wow, the countryside roads are terrible. Okay, Pleasant Plain up by Stone Lick Lake. She said they have 14 to 17 inches in spots. Whoa! Hope everyone traveled safely today. So I'm going to have to add a few things in here because so we've got 14 to 17 on the farm. Wow. Yeah, but you know what? Molly especially, you remember how bad it got when your ponds almost dried up in this summer. This is perfect for recharging soil moisture. It's perfect for the root systems of the plants that come up every year, the perennials, because the snow will sit there, it'll melt slowly a little bit more, and it'll keep a steady supply of recharging water coming. So this is actually a really good thing for any land to recharge the soil moisture. Tina Ryder Cletty says, what about the weekend forecast? Okay, Tina, let me see here. I'm going to call up the 7-day, and I'll give it to you full screen as soon as it pops up there. Okay. So there it is, full screen. So Friday, the original wording on this says a few snow showers. That is counting on the track of that low to stay far enough south that that's all we get. Now, if the track of that low changes, it could be an accumulating event, but it does not look like it could be anything like we just came through. Okay, Saturday, chance for a few flurries on the backside of that storm, and then another chance for some snow as another system comes out of the south on Monday. So that's your weekend forecast. High temperatures rising a little bit up to almost freezing by Sunday, and morning lows in the teens. So a cold weekend with a little bit of improvement showing up, and that chance for a little bit of snow as we head into the weekend on Friday. Okay, so back to Facebook here. All right, Heather Brooks, hello to you. Yeah, so Molly, I just mentioned that there should be a little bit of more snow on Friday. It does not look like it's anything like what we have today. Joseph Terry says, when will it be sunny and 75 again? Okay, I'm going to take a wild guess at these. 75, the first time we hit 75 this year will probably be April 8th. That's a wild guess. It's not a forecast. So I'm thinking April 8th for the first time we're going to hit 75. Okay, Dwayne Bentley says Bracken County is on a level 3 snow emergency. For those of you out there, a level 3 snow, and you should know what that means. Each county is a little bit different, so make sure that you pay attention to that. So, Sarah Jenkins says, give us some good news about this week, about the weather. Well, it really depends upon what you think is good weather. So if you like more snow, it might be good news. But right now, it's just going to take a long time. I think we're going to stay pretty cold through most of the rest of the month. Oh, sorry, Angela, I'm showing my age. MVM means never mind. Okay. So Angela, if you remember, said we weren't visible or she couldn't see me, and I don't know what platform she was using. And NVM means never mind. I learned something today. Thank you, Angela. Okay. Anitra Oliver Rogers says, hello. Hi, Anitra. Okay, so Erica Lynn said, my husband took our older RAV4 to work instead of his new car. LOL. Stay safe driving out there if you got to go out. My husband works for the sheriff's office, and she didn't say which sheriff's office, but that's what I did. My wife, we got our car 4 days ago. Okay, right before, actually 5 days ago now. And it doesn't even have 50 miles on it. And she said, oh, are you going to drive the Subaru? We have a Subaru. And we traded our old Subaru in. And I said, oh, I'd love to, but I know what's going to happen. The minute I drive that Subaru, somebody's going to slide through a stop sign or something and T-bone me. So I use our old van. If it gets wrecked, we just give it to charity because it's old. It's 2012, got 150,000 miles on it. It still runs nice. I kind of like it. It's dirty because it's our dog's car, but that's it. Okay, Jeff Beechler. I was wondering if we heard from Jeff. Now, if you watch all the time, Jeff Beechler has been asking for snow since June. Okay, really, since June. When are we going to get snow? And so Jeff said, "Got my snow, but that's more than I thought." So there you go, Jeff. Hope you get a chance to enjoy it. And the minute I was driving home last night and saw all the snow there, I thought, oh boy, Jeff Beechler's going to be happy. Shanda Flynn says, I'm from Bellevue, Kentucky, and I don't remember a snow that big since the 1980s when I was a kid. I'm in Houston now, and it got cold today, but not like that. Stay safe, everyone. So Chanda, yeah, sorry. Actually, in 1998 or 1999, we had one that was a little bit bigger than this. But we don't get many like this, so it's been a while. And by the way, I like Bellevue, nice place. And if you haven't been back to Bellevue for a while, you should see the changes in that place. All kinds of people moving to Bellevue now. All right, now what's the candy store there on the main drag? Used to go there all the time, but I can't remember the name of it. So, and I hope you enjoy Houston. All right. 8 to 9 inches in Hamilton and Butler County measured by her yardstick. That was from Sarah Jenkins. Thanks, Sarah. Oh, and Patricia Allen Bennett says snow is up to the seat of her outside chairs. Whoa, that's a lot. Dwayne Bentley, it's bad in Bracken County. Oh, I'm sure it is. Because there was a lot of snow and a lot of ice in those areas. So those of you in Bracken County, there's a report from Bracken County from Dwayne saying it's bad. So be very careful out there. All right. Can we expect this to melt anytime soon? No. It'll all melt slowly, but we don't get up to freezing until the end of the 7-day. And so it'll melt away a little bit every time we get some sunshine. But at least through the next 7 days, we're not going to see, it'll be here for probably a month, at least in traces. But the next time we get up to freezing is day 7 in the 7-day forecast. Yeah, that's a week from today, Monday. So at least through then. Okay, Linda Daugherty said 11.5 inches in Greenfield, Highland County, measured on a flat surface. You must have been listening to Ethan Emery. We call him Double E, Ethan Emery. And Double E is from Highland County, so, okay. No, Angel, I'm afraid this snow's just not going to melt very fast. Okay, right now, okay, this is from Abby R. Bowling. She said she's going to be heading from Mason County, Kentucky. Mason County, Kentucky, if you're not familiar with it, is where Maysville is, into Cincinnati tomorrow morning. How bad is I-275 and 471 looking? Right now, they're not looking good, but what happened is they started to treat them, then the snow came back as we had forecast, so they had to take a break. They've overworked the drivers, and so a lot of places are giving them a few hours off to go home, rest up, and then come back in. But they'll have made a lot more progress by the time we get into the morning. Now, I don't know if you're coming in Kentucky 8, if you're going across the river and coming in 52, Abby, you might want to be careful about those. Even though those are main highways and they get treated pretty much, there could still be some icy patches on those areas. But you should have, it might be a little bit slow going, but I don't see you not being able to get there, that's for sure. Yeah, ODOT cameras show I-471 looks good. Yeah, up until a couple hours ago it didn't. Now the ODOT camera, the camera that I've got from Kentucky DOT that we look at shows that, of course, the southbound lanes south of the bridge are still just snow covered because nobody's using them. The northbound lanes have looked much, much better. So Abby, that's what Mindy said, and I agree. It's looking by tomorrow morning, you should have no trouble getting here. What is one thing I'm looking forward to during my vacation time? Well, first of all, since I work evenings and my wife works dayside, we barely ever see each other. So while I'm on vacation, I get to see a little bit more of my wife, and I get to spend the entire day with my dogs. I love dogs, and they're great. They're fun. Unfortunately, now we've got one of our dogs is a Chihuahua that's about this tall, and 9 inches of snow at our house is about twice as big as the Chihuahua, and he just looks at it like, I'm not going out there. Yeah, and Molly Purcell Pollock says, hopefully you can go outside and enjoy the snow. I am absolutely going to do that. Now, I showed you the snowshoes I have. I'm going to take them home with me, and I might even go over to one of the parks and play around on my snowshoes, since I haven't done that for a while. Joshua Clifford said it's his birthday. He's 47. Happy birthday, Joshua. You know what? You were born in 1977 or 76? Because my son, who was born in December 77, just turned 47. Yeah, so you were born in, that would have been 78 you were born. So happy birthday, Joshua. Okay, and he wants to know about the snow on Friday and Saturday. Right now, I don't think much. I think some snow showers. There might be a dusting. Right now, it doesn't look like much, but we're going to have to watch this track of that storm. Right now, the track seems to be trending more away from us. But we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll talk more about it as it gets closer. Okay, Jeff, and then let's see. Michael, hi to you. Jeff Beechler, who's Jeff Beechler, the guy that's been asking for snow since June, and now he got it. I've been in it all day playing outside. Good for you, Jeff. It's great out there. Okay, Tammy Campbell says the last snow like this was 1999. She was in the hospital having her baby. Okay. And it's really interesting how big life events can help you remember what the weather was like. I'll give you one. I was born on August 4th, okay? But I was born at 1:17 in the morning, so it was just after midnight from August 3rd. My mom was in the hospital in labor, and back then there was no air conditioning in the hospitals. And the doctors wouldn't let the women in labor have fans blow on them because they thought back then that spread germs. So the only thing they could have was a towel or a few ice chips and that. But my mom, it was the day before I was born, the high temperature was 96, high humidity, no air conditioning in the hospitals, no fans, and she remembered exactly what the weather was like until the day she passed away. And she said, I was in labor for 17 and a half hours, and it was so hot and it was so humid. So my mom remembered that weather because it was a big day in her life when I was born. So El Jefe Cooper says, yeah, like 1999, 2000 had snow like this. Okay. Yeah, there were like 3 years in a row, 98, 99, 2000, we had some pretty good storms. Thank you, Shanda Flynn. She goes, Schneider's is the name of the candy store in Bellevue. Yummy, yeah. Used to go there all the time. My wife and I used to live in a section of downtown Cincinnati called Over the Rhine, and once the Purple People Bridge became a walking bridge, you could walk over to Newport on the Levee, and if you wanted to walk even further, you could walk down the road and head on into Bellevue. So Sarah Vandergriff Philly says 9 inches in Liberty Township. All right, I'm glad it worked out, Sarah. Okay, and Victoria Holt Isaac says, stay safe out there, everyone. Your families want you home safely. Absolutely. Yeah, and then Katie Coldwell said, yeah, 2004 was a big year for snow, too. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not. I know officially it wasn't 24 inches in 24 hours, but I remember in 2004 because I was working at Channel 12 at the time, and that is the time. Was that the one? And I think that might have been the storm in March, because myself, a photographer, and one of our engineers spent an entire weekend on the I-75 exit at Mount Zion Road in northern Kentucky. We got the last hotel room there, and people were coming back from spring break, and so we were at the Waffle House there interviewing people live on TV, and people would pull up in their cars They'd get out, they'd be in T-shirts and shorts and sandals from Florida and walking through knee-deep snow to go get some pancakes. That was a fun day. And then I had snowshoes back then, and we went out a little bit from where the Waffle House is on at I-75 and Mount Zion Road, and we found some 10-foot drifts. I mean, they were like gigantic. So that, I think that might have been that March storm, Katie. I'll have to look it up. I don't remember clearly yet. Tammy says she's leaving town 8 a.m. January 13th. Let's see, what's today? Today is, so Monday. You're leaving. No, there's a chance for some snow, so I can't guarantee you there won't be any problems at this point, but we'll keep a close eye on it. All right, so then let's see. So Tammy, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. So 13 to 14 at Molly Purcell's place. Wow. Molly Purcell Pollock's place. Yes. Yeah, here's the story with that, Jeff. Jeff Beecher said, you just got a new dog? Well, the dog came from Paws for Miles, which is in Loveland, Ohio, and it's a foster type of dog rescue. So they don't have a big facility, but they get fosters for these dogs until they get adopted. So the dog was not doing real well, and it was not used to being caged up in a weird environment. So I agreed right away to just foster the dog with the understanding that if it got along with our other dogs, we adopt it. However, I was going to pick it up on Saturday, and the family saw it on the air, and they adopted it. So happy ending. The dog, whose name was, it was a girl, I forget the name, but got a new home, and so that's good. And then I was going to be the fallback. If it didn't work out for the new family, then she would have come to us. Heather Brooks says, my Chihuahua needs a sled. Yeah, little AJ, I tell you what. He's so funny because when we get up in the morning, he runs down the steps, runs a loop through the TV room, and we open the door, and he goes flying out off the deck. This morning, he opened the door, he went flying, it went out on the deck and skidded to a stop, turned around and said, no way. Yeah, and Joshua Clifford said 1978 that was the blizzard. 1976-77, that winter was the one that the Ohio River froze and was so brutally cold in January. 1977-78 was the blizzard year when we had the big storm. Jeff Beechler says he's 42 and he acts like he's 15. Good for you. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so Angela Angle said, I just wanted you to know that I'm in the same boat. Had no idea what NVM meant. I was in there cooking dinner, watching, and my 10-year-old granddaughter came and said, who is that that doesn't understand what that means? Okay, let me see more. So, and that's something. And it's like, NVM, what could that possibly mean? And her granddaughter said, how did you not know that? Forest Park, 11.5 inches, all right. For Florence, the full total snow, now we had several observations from around Union and several observations from around Florence. They ranged from about 6.5 to about 8.5, and that's kind of normal. Snowfall varies by that much. So around Florence, 6.5 to about 8.5 inches is the numbers we got. Michael Patterson says, my kids had me sledding. This hurts. Isn't it amazing how when you're a kid, things don't feel that way? Then the older you get, the more it hurts. Bright, Indiana, 13 inches. Betty Pleeman, if it is, says, hello, Steve Horstmeyer. Hello, Betty. Heather Brooks, smart dog. Yeah, AJ's a smart little guy. Those little dogs, you know, they've got that attitude where if they bark loud enough, the other dogs think they're big. Lawrenceburg, Hidden Valley, the highest we saw was 8.5 in Aurora, but not far from there in Ohio, it was 11. So I'd have to say for Lawrenceburg, Hidden Valley, those areas, probably somewhere between 8 and 11 inches. So, and what people don't understand, it's very typical for snow to vary that much. In other words, you can, for example, if you have a farm and you go to one corner of the farm, go to the other corner of the farm, it's not unusual for the snow totals to vary by a couple inches. It just works out that way. Okay, well, that's it for now. Excuse me. I've got to get going, so I've got a lot of other stuff to catch up on since we didn't get much done other than looking at the snow over the past couple days. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe in the snow. Stay warm in the cold weather coming up. Frank Marzullo's in on this show tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Catherine Bodak will be in the next week, and then I'll be back. I've got the next basically 2 weeks off. So have yourself a nice night. Thank you for joining me, and hope everything goes well for you.